Any radical term can be divided by another radical term, and the terms do not need to have the same radicands. So a radical x divided by b radical y is equal to a over b times the square root of x over y. So what this shows is, in order to divide radicals, you divide the coefficient in the numerator by the coefficient in the denominator, and you divide the radicand in the numerator by the radicand in the denominator. You do this for any radical terms, regardless of what the radicands for each term are. So let's take a look at this example. 6 radical 10 divided by 2 radical 5. Step 1, you divide the coefficient in the numerator, which would be 6, by the coefficient in the denominator, which would be 2. 6 divided by 2 gives us 3. Step 2, divide the radicand in the numerator, 10, by the radicand in the denominator, 5, giving us, and we keep the radical, the square root of 10 divided by 5, which would be 2. So the answer to 6 radical 10 divided by 2 radical 5 is 3 radical 2. So when you want to divide radicals, again, divide the coefficients and then divide the radicands. Let's have you do a few practice questions. Find the quotient. 14 radical 20 divided by 7 radical 4. Question 2, 8 radical 4 divided by 2 radical 16. And question number 3, 3 radical 12x to the 4th divided by 6 radical 3x squared. Pause the video, answer these questions, and then press play when you are ready to begin. Question number 1, step 1. Divide the coefficient in the numerator, 14, by the coefficient in the denominator, 7. 14 divided by 7 is 2. Then we go to our radical terms. Step 2, divide the radicand in the numerator, 20, by the radicand in the denominator, which would be positive 4. The square root of 20 divided by 4 is equivalent to the square root of 5. So the answer to question number 1 is 2 radical 5. Question number 2, step 1, divide the coefficient in the numerator, 8, by the coefficient in the denominator, 2. 8 divided by 2 gives us 4. Step 2, divide the radicand in the numerator, 4, by the radicand in the denominator, 16. 4 over 16. If you divide them both by 4, you simplify it to 1/4. Now the square root of 1 can be simplified to 1, and the square root of 4 can be simplified to 2. So 1 over 2 is equivalent to 1/2. 4 times 1/2 is equal to 2. So 8 radical 4 divided by 2 radical 16 is equal to 2. Question number 3, step 1, divide the coefficient in the numerator, 3, by the coefficient in the denominator, 6. 3 over 6 is equal to 1/2, or 0.5 in decimal form. Step 2, divide the radicand in the numerator, 12x to the 4th, by the radicand in the denominator, 3x squared. 12 divided by 3 is equal to 4. When you are dividing variables with exponents, you subtract the exponent in the denominator from the exponent in the numerator. So 4 minus 2 gives you 2. Now the square root of 4 is equal to 2, and the square root of any term squared is just the root x. So the square root of 4x squared can be simplified to 2x. 2 times 1/2 is 1, which means this answer simplifies to just x. So 3 radical 12x to the 4th divided by 6 radical 3x squared is equal to x.